baby stalking my IG, claiming that our love is real. That our love is real. 2 phones, but I need like 3. Cannot reach me, I'm not there. Plane take off and leave at 3. Walking through the pool like, yeah. 2 phones, but I need like 3. Cannot reach me, I'm not there.
What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of Talks with D-Hawks. I am Divine, and I am here with...
the one and only JP.
The one and only JP. Yeah. JP. So, what I like to do is I like to tell the guests, to tell the viewers, like, where we met and how we met. Okay. We don't really have nothing crazy story, but go ahead, tell them where we met.
I'm looking over there, I'm looking at you.
Right there.
All right. So,
wherever you want.
Yeah.
Here, there.
So, it's a very interesting story. Well, not really interesting. We met in our local gym, LA Fitness, in the sauna room. Mm-hmm. And this guy right there,
we was talking about, what were we talking about that day?
We was stirring something up.
Yeah,
we had about 7 other individuals in there.
Guy talk in the sauna.
Okay.
And it was a good conversation. And I told JP that, I make content, and he told me he used to rap.
Oh, yeah.
He was a rapper back in the day. Yeah. And I told him that I'm currently making content, and I'm like, yo, we saw each other like months later, but we saw each other yesterday, and we're like, yo, let's do an interview. Let's work.
Yeah,
he said, yeah, come to my office. I said, all right, bet. Yeah. And here we are. We're in JP's office. So we're going to do a little introduction. We're going to have some fun with it.
Let's do it.
JP, does it stand for something? Do you want to say what it stands for?
It's just my name.
Just your name?
Yeah. And then, so when I grew up, I wasn't from this country, by the way. I'm an immigrant.
Really?
I was born in India and came to America when I was about 10, 11.
Okay.
And the block that I grew up in, that time I was the only freaking Asian in the whole block full of Dominicans.
Really?
So one of the OGs, because
Asia?
What do you mean?
You said in Asia.
In India, like.
Oh,
Asia,
man, in India.
In India, Asia. Asia is very large, one of the largest.
And India and Dominicans. I'm like, what?
Yeah. No. But when I came to America, and I grew up in Queens, by the way.
Yes.
We met in the Bronx, but in the early part of my life, I grew up in Queens. So in Queens, being the only Asian from the block full of Dominicans, and one of the OGs, they gave me the nickname JP.
JP.
So ever since then, because I was getting in a lot of fights.
Really?
And I'll tell you why. You want to know?
Yeah, go ahead.
So
I want to know everything.
Say no more. So my country got taken over by the Chinese Communist Party.
Okay.
So coming to this America and people calling me Chino, you know what I'm saying? That struck me to my heart. So every single day, but from the outside looking in, it was normal to them calling somebody Chino just because you got chinky eyes.
But it rubbed you the wrong way.
But for me, I was like, nah, and I barely spoke English, so I always used to fight with these people, with the Dominicans. I used to be like, me no Chino, and then getting in fight every single day from elementary school to the middle school. Then that's how I kind of got my respect. And then the OGs noticed me and they're like, yo, you JP from now on. And ever since then, it was over.
But let me ask you, so you came here with who?
My family.
Okay. Yeah. And that would be like aunts, mom, dad?
So my mom, dad, and my 4 older siblings. I'm the youngest out of 5, so.
Okay, so typically with Asian families, very strict, headstrong, books. So when you were getting into these fights, did they care? Was it like a thing that bothered them?
See, the thing is, I was wild. I was always, outside. I'm like high energy person. So it's, for them, they don't really necessarily know that I've been getting in fights. They just know I go out every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this was when I was maybe 10, 11, 12, 13.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then when you started learning English and you started getting into the culture of things, what would you say life after that was like? I guess from 12, 13, you're in middle school, and then you go to high school. Yeah. What was your high school like?
I mean, from then I was good. I already learned how to speak proper English, but I always spoke with the slang.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's only been the past
swag.
It's only been the past 3 and 4 years ever since I got in real estate that I started to learn how to speak proper English.
Yes.
Right? I thought I spoke English, so it's a difference. And then going into high school, I dropped out of high school, by the way, sophomore.
Really?
Yeah, I dropped out of high school as sophomore. I was getting involved with the wrong crowd, the typical story. And then I said, you know what?
Did your family know, or?
Of course.
They knew?
Yeah, they kind of disowned me.
Really?
Yeah, they said, you want to, because the thing with, I would say predominantly majority of the Asian cultures, it's just education,
Yeah.
study. And they will support you financially, physically,
as long
whatever,
as
as long as you're getting your diploma, you're getting your degrees, you're getting your education. But then...
What do you think about that? Do you think that it's too much, or you think they should tone it down?
I definitely think they should tone it down, but ultimately I do get why they have that mindset. Because remember, my parents, they worked their butts off for me and my siblings to have this life that we live now.
Yeah.
To bring us to the country with the most amount of opportunities.
Yes.
That you know, whatever, like you could come to this country with nothing and fucking before you're
And
gone,
build everything
you can
and have
build
everything.
a freaking empire.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And no other countries would give you that much opportunity and also freedom.
Nah,
you know what I mean?
true. Okay, so we're gonna get to the nitty gritty, but I want people to understand and see who it is you are. What are some of your hobbies? Like, what do you like to do for fun?
For me, fun.
Yeah.
It's working.
Working?
Working is fun because it's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
For me, I do real estate. So
Yes.
real estate is a big umbrella of a word. So real estate can mean many things. So I mean, 3.5 years ago, my sister, prior to I was getting in trouble in the streets and stuff like that,
Yeah.
my sister said, "You've always been in sales. Like you've always been good at communicating with people, connecting with people. Why don't you do real estate?" Because she was a broker, a den for like 4 or 5 years. This was 4 years ago.
Let me ask you.
All right.
What's a broker?
So
I don't know anything about anything for this interview. I'ma just blank mind, explain everything from the ground up. What's a broker?
So broker is someone that mediates a deal, someone that procures a prospective buyer and connects it with the seller.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, if the deal or the transaction goes swiftly, then you get your due commission. So you're the mediator.
Okay.
You're someone that's bringing something and kind of brokering the deal. So for example, let's say, and there's two forms of broker. There's a broker like associate broker, and then there's broker meaning you own the real estate company or you operate a certain chain,
Okay.
and that you have agents under you. Because there's a salesperson, I'm a salesperson, I'm not a broker yet, right? In a sense of the paperwork, because I have a broker that who I partner up with, and then who hired me for this job of being in his office. So
Is it good to be a broker? Is it that
it's
something
good and bad, but that's not something I would do.
Okay.
Because I know my sisters are a broker.
Yeah.
So the thing with broker is that you take all the liability.
If
So right
everything-
now,
Okay.
so for example, if you, let's say you, D-Hog, you my broker, right? And I'm your sales, I'm an agent part of your office, and anything that I do, legally speaking, if I was to jeopardize myself, it'll be you that'll have to answer. They will go for the broker, not necessarily the salesperson.
So you wouldn't recommend most people do that, or
No.
it just depends on if
Yeah,
they're willing
it
to take
depends
that?
on what
Yeah.
like what's your personality type and what you're good at. Like for me, I'm good at going out there in the world and building relationships, nurturing the relationships, and then ultimately earning the business.
Yeah.
You do so through, right, following up and XYZ. This is sales. So, but if you're someone that's more of a back end and analytics, and you're compliant and you're good at people managing, then the broker, because at the end of the day, you know what I mean? You're managing people and you're a broker. That's really what it is. If this guy's out of line, if this agent is not doing what he's supposed to, you got to come in and say, hey, listen,
Step up.
step up, or you can't be in this office because you going to jeopardize my license.
You know, it's funny when you explain that, because I could see the kind of person you are, that you're very, I could see you doing the dirty work. I could see you going out there talking if you have to, going in the streets. Yo, we got to offer that. I could see you being that type of person, trying to get people together, not caring about being judged, not caring about, you know, like people's eyes or people looking at you corny, because, you know, people are, you know, where we from is, you know, you try to be cool. And especially, and I related to me doing this, I kind of have to be that way too. Like, yo, people come look at me, come check this out.
Yeah.
Like, I want people, thousands, hundreds of millions of people to look at this episode. Why not?
Why not?
So it's almost like sales.
Thousands
Kind of
is an
everything's
understatement. We need to get millions.
Yeah.
Why not? If people doing it better than us, why can't we do it? If we were all to get injured and cut, we'll all bleed the same color, red.
Yeah.
So we can achieve everything that you set your mind to. I truly believe that. I mean, yeah.
What did it take for you? Well, we could get that later, but
Yeah,
what made you want to get into real estate? Like, how did you fall into that?
That's a very good question. So for me, like I mentioned previously, if you know how most people in this world, whenever they go through shit, and then they always have that either knight in shining armor, or they have that beam of light through the world of darkness. I would say for me, it's my sister.
Your sister?
Yeah, because if it wasn't for her, I would definitely not be in this predicament I'm in. Helping the people I'm helping, doing the things I'm doing, and building the things I'm building, right? Because she gave me the guideline. And if you don't know, real estate sales, by the way, has the highest failure rate in any sales industry.
Really?
Last I checked, it was 65 to 70% failure rate. So to give you a perspective, if 1,000 new licensees gets licensed next year,
like 30.
only 300 is going to make it, based on the stats. Like even the restaurant business is not that brutal. You know what I mean? And that's because it boils down to one thing. There's no guidance. There's no manual saying this is how you get business in real estate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like for you, so for example, for me, I had that person who was, and my sister's amazing. She's a freaking great salesperson.
Okay.
Like, you know what I mean?
Why? What is it that she does?
She same thing I do, but she's just, you know, she connect. Like when I first got into business, I was all about commission. I got in this to make money, and I made it about money. Like every people I would see and speak with, I had a dollar sign on their forehead. Like I would see it because I'm like, okay, if I talk to this person, boom, and then it kind of becomes transactional.
But isn't that the point? You want to make money, no?
The whole point is how to make money, because you can make money doing anything in this world, right? It's about how you can make the money, and also, and so to give you an example, let's say I meet you for the first time and we're doing a deal, and then I only made it transactional, meaning I did a good job for you, but we didn't really necessarily have a bond, we didn't nurture a relationship.
Yeah.
So after I sold you the house, I made the commission or whatever, the XYZ, we forgot about each other.
Yeah, we moved on.
As opposed to now, if I have a relationship with you and I made it about a relationship base as opposed to transactional base, what's gonna happen is you're gonna be like, oh my goodness, yo, and then moving forward, you're gonna be, you gotta use my guy's JP.
Yeah.
That guy's a freaking.
I'm not telling other people to connect with you because I don't really know you or care about you or nothing.
Right.
Yeah. So now you just still stuck at this level when you could have blossomed and got this person. This
and then
person,
the person that you've referred me or introduced me to, I'm gonna do the same job. I'm gonna do such a good job for them. They're gonna give me someone else.
Yes.
So you see the compound effect.
Yeah.
As opposed to if it was just transactional, I made money off of you, but that was then and there.
Now you're struggling to look for more clients, or you're trying to grow, but it's like, damn, why am I not growing? Why are these people not calling me back? I sold them this house, this big mansion, whatever, but they're not hitting me up. They're not.
And that's the one thing I learned from my sister. That I was like, because in the beginning, I come from sales.
Yeah.
Legally, illegally, or whatever the case may be, sales, the definition of sales is transference of conviction. So I can always was able to transfer my conviction to someone else, and they would buy the product, whatever that product may be. So I was good at sales. Okay. But when I saw her doing what she was doing with people that she's never met, and we're gonna get this into the nitty gritty of how I got business when I first started, by the way. She made everything about a relationship. Like it was all about like people she would connect with, like they would connect on a family level, like 7 level deep type of thing. So that way, like even if they're not ready to buy or sell, the moment they hear a whiff in their circle, in their inner circle, or whoever they know that's thinking of doing something real estate, they're gonna be like, oh, you gotta use my gal because she's amazing. I ain't do nothing with her, but I love her energy, or you know what I'm saying. So when I first peeped that, I was like, I can't do that. Because of the type of conversation she was having. But then because remember, my mindset was all transactional. Yeah. I looked at everybody as
I'm trying to get this paper. I'm trying to get this money.
Right. And then when I shifted my mindset from that to now relationship based, that's when
you started seeing a big difference.
That's when I saw significant.
What would you do differently to build that connection? What kind of conversations would you be having?
It's more so about just.
Would you start telling people about you?
It's more so because the thing is, people. One thing about sales, people love talking about themselves. Yeah. Right now, if I'm trying to earn the opportunity for your business, or if I'm looking to get in business with you, rather than me talking, I'll let you do the talking. Yeah. Because that's how you're going to feel most comfortable. But it's all about asking the right question. Yeah. I would ask you questions about your life. What's your hobby? What you doing with me? And then once I figured that out, the only right thing is I tell you about mine. And that's how we build the connection. Oh, we have commonalities. Oh, okay. Oh, your son is doing this. Oh, by the way, you should do that before. Oh, okay. And then little by little, you build relationship. And then throughout the transaction is the best way to build a relationship. Yeah. Like from the moment we meet. Because most of the people that I do business with, believe it or not, these are people that I've never met in my whole life. And they don't know a thing about me.
Really? Yeah, that's true.
Because I get a lot of business from cold calling. Like, just imagine, you're just chilling in your house one day and I just call you out of the blue.
You just call me.
I just called you out of the blue.
Buy a house?
Want to sell a house. You're going to be like, who the hell are you? How'd you get my number? Yeah. And then, there's like in every sale, there's objections and there's objection handler. And I've, developed the skill to overcome a lot of objections from a sales conversation. I
was going to ask, what are some things that you think you still need to work on?
Too many things I need to work on.
Okay. Give me like 2.
There's too many. 2, I would say my time management. Okay. And then I would say my database. Database meaning people that's in my database. I need to, because there's a thing for a lot of successful agents, they got those two things under control. And when they get those things under control, then business starts scaling.
Yeah.
So I'm at a point. I'm technically like on my third year of the business.
Okay.
Right. Now between me and my sister. So to give you an interesting fact, the first year, me and my sister, we partnered up together.
Okay.
She was part of this company that you're in right now.
Really?
Yeah. We partnered up. We got in a venture, and I learned so much. And I'm a sponge, like, because the thing with me is, I don't say I'm anybody special. It's just, I was very good at failing forward. Like if you tell me something and I think it could be useful, what I'll do is I'll implement it right then and there. And if I fail, I fail. If I pass, I pass, or I succeed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and then I made a lot of mistakes. You know what I mean? I had no fear. Remember, I have a background of coming from a different place. So I was picking up a call. And calling other people, I would see people be scared like shitless.
Yeah.
So I'm like, wait a minute, you're just calling people.
Yeah.
But if you call the right people, there's an opportunity to make unlimited amount of income. So that was kind of how I took things.
All right, so let's break down. I guess let's work through it and let's talk through it. Hey JP, I'm new to this. I want to buy or sell a house.
Okay.
Matter of fact, let's start with I want to buy a house.
Okay.
How do I start? What do I do?
Yeah.
Who do I call?
Yeah.
Tell me.
First thing is you call me.
Okay, I call you.
You don't call JP, right?
I call JP.
Right, because then I have my resources.
Okay.
Right, so I'm just a salesperson, by the way. I help you see the property and I give you my advice on if it's a right house for you or if it's not a right house, and you make the best decision. Right, my job is to educate the consumer, the client, so that way they're informed to make the best decision for themselves and for their family.
Yeah.
Right now, in terms of now you're fresh out the gate, you want to jump in the market, you want to buy. And I'm assuming at this point in time you don't own any prior properties.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? So you're looking to buy your first property.
I'm 25, saved whatever I need to save.
You saved enough for a down payment.
I saved enough. Let's go.
Right.
What do I do now?
First thing first is to make sure you speak with a mortgage specialist or a mortgage banker. There's a ton of them.
Why?
Because they're the one that's going to be able to qualify you and discuss the financing or the purchasing options. Because there's so many different loan products out there. Okay. You can do FHAs for first-time homeowners thing that the federal government has incentivized, where you can put as little as 3.5% down for a property up to 4-family house.
Okay.
So imagine, just to give you a perspective, let's talk about the Bronx for a second. A 4-family can go anywhere between $1 million and $1.3. Let's just say $1 million for the sake of this conversation. And if you utilize that loan product and the loan program correctly, you can own $1 million property with as little as $35,000 down. Most people think they need a lump sum amount of money to close.
That's what I used to think when I was younger. You need a lot of money to be able, or
So
you,
now how do
or you
you
had
feel?
to pay it in full.
So now how do you feel just knowing the fact that I just shared? It's called FHA.
That's not bad. You can. I mean, you gotta save. Obviously, you gotta make sure you have a good amount of money, and then you could literally own a house. You don't pay it off. Obviously.
Federal Housing Administration. That's what FHA stands for. So that's one. Now, if you have, and the thing with FHA right now in today's market, it's a little bit difficult because we're in a seller's market, meaning for one house that goes on the market, there's 6 buyers, 10 buyers. So now, if you're an FHA buyer and then there's someone conventional comes in saying, I'm gonna put 20% down, if you're the seller, which one would you feel more comfortable with going? The 20% down. So, but the fact of the matter is everything that goes up must come down. So the market is gonna shift, and when that shift does happen, you gotta be prepared and equipped with the knowledge so that you can make the purchase or the investment you desire to make.
Okay, so I speak to the what you said, the mortgage?
Just a lender, mortgage broker.
Mortgage broker. Okay, cool. And how do you even? Who are these people? Like,
I mean, who do you bank with? Chase, Capital One. Right. They all have their own mortgage. They all have their own pre-approval process. So the correct terminology is pre-approval, because pre-approval basically indicates that you, D-Hawks, based on the assets and the credit that we ran on you, we can borrow you in the loan amount of X.
Okay.
So without pre-approval, sellers won't even take you seriously, because then you're just going just to, like, you're looking at a house, you're like, oh, I want to buy it, but I haven't even spoken with the banker. I don't even know how much I can afford. I'm not even sure if I'll be able to make the monthly payments or not. So will you take me serious if I came to you with that proposal? No. But if you went to the banker, you've already cross your T's and dot all the I's. So in terms of like getting your pre-approval, right? They
I have more confidence. Yeah.
Typically, they ask for your pay stubs, your W-2s, and they're going to do a credit check on you, and based on your income and your assets, and based on your down payment, they will issue you a number. Okay. So if a house is worth $1 million, let's say you got $100,000 you're putting down, meaning they're going to cover the difference of $900. Yeah. But you got to make sure that you qualify for it. This is what the pre-approval process is crucial to buying any home. Unless you got $1 million in cash chilling, then you don't even need to talk to nobody. Yeah. You go, okay, you go. Chances of you winning the bid is very likely. Yeah. Because who doesn't want an all cash deal?
Yeah, true. So then once the first step is the mortgage broker pre-approval, cool, check. Now what? Now we come to you?
Then you come to me.
Okay, how do I come to you? What do I do?
But the beautiful thing is I would have already made you the introduction because I have mortgage partners that I work with. Okay. Right? I have preferred lenders that I've vetted them and I've done business with them and I make sure that our visions align and our goals are aligning because my vision is to make sure that the customer gets protected and served the best possible way possible. Like, you know what I mean? I don't even know if that was a word what I just said, but.
What do you mean protected? Protected from what?
So just imagine if you go to a courthouse. Are you going without a representation?
No,
or are you going pro se? Right, you're going to get a representation, even if you're going to get the public defender. You know what I mean? You're going to have somebody representing you, making sure that they're speaking on your behalf and they're fighting on your behalf against the other parties. So when you're a buyer, you're basically going against who? The seller. Yeah. Right? The seller's going to have their protection. They're going to have their listing agent. They're going to have their attorney. And you as a buyer, you got to have your own representation. You got to have your own buyer's agent. You got to have your own buyer's attorney. You got to have your mortgage specialist because you don't want that mortgage specialist or that lender to go spill all your beans to the listing agent. Yeah. So this is why it's important to have a resource of people that you work with. So I have partnerships. So the beautiful thing about what I do and the level that I'm at now, remember I told you I made it about relationship as opposed to transactional. Yeah. So I've actually went out there and looked for great attorneys to build a relationship with. I went out there and met with a whole bunch of mortgage brokers and have a relationship with. Yeah. I have a relationship with title companies, owners of title company. I have a relationship with an inspector. I have a relationship. So these are the people that all plays part.
It's a lot of people involved
in a real estate transaction. If I'm not mistaken, I read something like this, and this is why a large amount of U.S. GDP is based on real estate. Because one
what's GDP?
So that's the global economy, right? So for example, when one real estate transaction gets taken or takes place, over 30,000 jobs get employed. Okay. Like how crazy is that?
That is crazy.
And we see, and in the United States of America, there's about 4 to 4.5 million transactions taking place every single year. Okay. Right, so just one transaction feeds 30,000 mouths and maybe more because those people got family, right? So when a client comes to me, they have connection with all of my partners. So I'm a one-stop shop. Yeah. You come to me, you need an attorney, I connect you with the professional who's a great attorney. You need a mortgage specialist, I'll connect you to my lender. Or you need someone to do inspections on the house, I'll connect you with an inspector. Or you need a moving company, I got a mover. You need a general contractor to fix things up, I got a general contractor.
So your phone is always on go.
Always on, right?
You already got
I'm on silent right now, and I'm getting text calls and all that. So
walked in here, like 3-4 people already called you. Yeah. As soon as I saw you, 3-4 people. Hey, I'm busy. Hey, I got a meeting.
I'm never too busy for my clients, but you know, my man D-Hogs is important. So and we've been meaning to put this together, so it's only right I give you the time, right?
Okay, so then once we got all that covered, now what?
Then we go out there. I'll go a little bit deeper. Okay. So now, because there's
break it all down, bro. I'm here.
Last year of August, a big change happened in the real estate industry, where a lot of brokerages, big brokerages, my company was one of them, got sued, and the plaintiffs who sued us, they ended up winning the lawsuit. $1.8 billion settlement, by the way.
What they sued y'all for?
So.
If you can discuss
that. Yeah, we can get into it. I'll to make a long story even longer, right? So I believe it was in 2022, 2023, or I'm not really clear about the timeline, but over 500,000 homeowners in Kansas, Missouri got together. Homeowners that have already sold their property using a real estate professional, by the way. After they sold it and they cashed in on their money, they got together and they said they basically filed a lawsuit against these big companies, claiming that it was a commission lawsuit. So, for example, if you are a seller, you hire me, I charge 6%, just for the sake of this. There's no such thing as a set commission fee, but each professional charge is different for whatever they believe they're worth. That's a fact, right? So let's say I say, you hire me, what do I charge? I charge 6%. And then I will tell you that, out of the 6%, 2.5 or 3% gets split between the buyer broker and me, so that way we bring you the most amount of money. Because remember, there's two sides to the transaction. There's a buyer's agent and a seller's agent. And then so the homeowners the people that got together in Kansas, what they said was, they basically claimed that I had no idea that the part of, because the seller pays for the whole thing prior to this lawsuit that went in effect 2024 of August. And they basically claimed that we had no idea that the agreement that we signed, that that we were paying money to the buyer's agent who's negotiating against us. Yeah. Why am I paying him when he's going against me, trying to go after my, XYZ, like negotiating against me?
You sure they didn't know? Like you
obviously, every time you sign a contract, it's called an exclusive right to sell agreement. That's the contract you sign as a seller to sell a property with the broker. Yeah. Exclusive right to sell. And in the exclusive right to sell, in the contract, there's points that clearly says we charge 6% or 4%, or out of that whatever percentage, we paid X amount to the buyer agent for bringing us a buyer.
So you think they saw it, but they
we know they saw it. And unfortunately, there was 13 jurors who never owned or bought or sold the property, all renters, and they ended up giving the plaintiff the W. And guess who? And it was an attorney named Michael Ketchmark. He actually got, I believe, 40% of the lawsuit. So what's 40% of 1.8 billion?
A lot of money.
And they complained that we as a realtors make too much money.
Really?
And you charge 40%. I mean, listen, touche, right?
Yeah. When do you guys discuss this percentage? In the beginning before, or in the middle?
This is, no. This is like right before deciding to work with each other.
Yes, it's always discussed in the beginning.
Of 100%.
Okay.
Because we're talking about monies.
Yeah.
We're not talking about like hundreds of dollars. We're talking about thousands of dollars. I mean, if 6% of $1 million home is 60 G's, that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
So you don't want to talk about that in the middle when you already got a buyer now.
Now, when you're selling a home, is it you have multiple? So how do I say this? So let's say you got A, B, C, and D, and you're working with all of them. Do you usually do it one at a time, or is it, hey, I got this person at the same time? Does that make sense? So like they're all trying to do the same thing. They're all trying to sell or buy a house, and you're helping them, and you're. So
I'll give you an example. I kind of get what you're saying. Is it usually
one at a time, or you like? So I gotta meet with you, and then I gotta meet with this person.
As me and you are speaking, I have 10 houses on the market.
Yes.
10 active listings, 10 different sellers.
Okay.
So, and this is why I'm in the process of getting a team, because
it's too much.
Not necessarily too much, but you only have 24 hours a day, and I'm nobody, by the way, by any means necessary. Like I'm nowhere where I want to be at yet, and I'm just like this is I'm just now broken into, like, gotten in the door type shit.
What's the most you heard someone have at one time?
To be honest with you,
because 10 sounds like a lot.
10 is a lot. I mean, a lot is subjective.
Yeah.
But I do believe in my office currently, as we stand, out of 400 and something agents that's under our broker, I believe I have the most active listings. But we don't get paid for having active listings. We get paid for having the most sold listings.
Yes.
So that's my goal, right? But for you to have sold listings, you got to have active.
Okay.
So at this point in time, but I've seen people, like the top dogs I've seen have like 50, 60, 70. Like the top of the top of the top though. That's like the 1%.
Yeah.
And I'm third year in the business, my friend.
Yeah.
So
you got a long way to go, but you're going to get there. I believe it. But you were saying that you have 10 right now, and you was going to explain how that works, like having all those people at one time. Yeah,
so that's the beautiful thing about being a seller's agent.
Okay.
No mean to throw no shade at no buyer broker, but the buyer's agent is great. I think the professionals buyer's agent, yes, I think they're great for the industry. But for me, I learned very early, like my beginning of the real estate career, I learned that being on the seller side of the business, it's where you want to be at.
Why is that?
Great question, right? So
it's easier to sell a house than buy a house?
It's easier to sell a house, 100,000%. Especially, remember, I just told you, we're in a seller's market. Yeah. Meaning for every one house that goes in the market, depending on pockets of the area that you're in, there is most likely 3 to 20 buyers for that one particular house. Mm-hmm. Now, I'll give you a perfect example. So when you're on the seller side of the business, you control the inventory. that means your commission or your fee is most likely guaranteed.
Yeah.
Because to give you a perspective, if let's say I'm on the buyer's side of the thing, if I'm working with a buyer and we like this house, they want to put an offer in, there's 7 other people that I need to compete with.
Yeah.
And what are the chances that my buyer is gonna get the accepted offer? 1 out of 7.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So but if you're on the other side, you have 7 offers.
Yeah.
Who do I pick with?
Yeah.
Bottom line, I'm gonna, you know what I mean? Who do I advise my client, seller client to, because you as a real estate professional, as a seller's agent, you have your fiduciary responsibility, meaning you have to, be transparent, loyalty, negotiate, protect for your client. That's what a fiduciary means, right? I don't know if I hit the definition like on the mark, but that's basically what a fiduciary is. So, seller's agent, you control your time.
Yes.
Because now, as me and you're speaking, right? I have buyer's agents showing my property.
Yeah.
They're showing the houses.
Yeah.
So obviously, I come from we have to have good marketing, right? So we expose the properties and we let the buyer's agent do the job. So I don't have to physically go out there and be boots on ground.
Yeah. You could just be chilling.
Right. And then I would just get offers, and then I would present it to the seller, make sure.
So why do you think people become the buyers? Like, why do people do that? It's because they don't know?
Not necessarily. It's just because it's easier to work with buyers.
Why you say that?
8 out of 10 real estate agents that gets licensed, they end up doing their first deal with the buyer.
Okay.
Or they end up working with buyers, because working with buyers is easier because it's you holding the buyers like to get handheld. You got to hold their hands and drive them sometimes, show them the properties, time, energy, effort. Remember, we don't get paid on an hourly or a salary basis.
Yeah,
you get paid on a commission basis. So how do you put a price on your time when you don't necessarily know what you're making?
Yeah.
Right.
So when you're trying to become a seller or buyer, with what you do, is it recommended to have like a second job or something? Like how does that work?
No,
what would you recommend?
I recommend fucking just dive off the cliff.
Just go all out.
Yeah. So there's an amazing agent in this office, a very professional agent. He speaks like how I want to speak. Like,
yeah.
This is how good he
speaks. Very proper,
and he uses this vocabulary that's beyond my comprehension.
Yes.
So most of the times I hear him speak, I'm just scratching my head.
You're like, huh?
Yeah.
Excuse me?
And then I take that because I'm like, okay, now I know how to use the word, right?
Yeah.
So he told me, so when I was new in this office 3 years ago, like my work ethic was ridiculous. Like I would be on the calls the whole day. Like I would cold call for 2 hours, and after that I'm just following up on people. Like my first year in 2022.
Yeah.
You're not gonna believe this. I've called about 60,000 phone numbers.
Really?
60000.
That's a lot of people.
And then I only spoke with about, I would say, 7,500 people. Because remember, you calling versus picking up is different.
Yeah.
So I dialed 60,000 numbers. Not manually, I have a data and a dialer system. But, and then I ended up going on about 98 appointments.
Okay.
My first year.
60,000 to 7,500 to 98.
To 47 listings signed.
Okay.
To 47 contracts signed. And sold 20 houses. 20 properties, not houses. Not all of them were houses. They were co-ops, condos.
What do you think about that? What do other people say about that? If you tell them?
That's definitely not the norm. I've been told that many times. Like even my team, there's an office team leader that we have in the office. He even said like, you did the complete opposite of what majority do. Because remember, I told you majority work with buyers.
Yeah.
I haven't done a buyer deal. I mean, I still work with buyers, obviously, because I do anything that makes me money.
Yeah.
Just put it that way.
Whatever
I'm above nothing. It's just I just figured out early that there are certain things you can do, and it can not only make you more money, but it can save you more time, more freedom, and stuff like that.
Okay.
And that was being on the listing side of the business, because you control the inventory, you let the buyer's agent do the work for you, and then you're guaranteed your commission. Remember, I just told you, me and you were just having this conversation, and the houses I have on the market are being shown.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And they're contacting you.
And then if they like the house, if their buyers want to submit the offer, guess what? I'll get a call. Hey, listen, we love the house. We want to do a deal. What number should we come at?
Mm-hmm. So what's the process like when you do a deal? Can you explain that to me?
In what sense when you do a deal?
So they like the house. How you just explained. They like the house. We want to make a deal. What happens next?
That's a good question. I like that. I haven't. So
let's go.
So what happens is, okay, you want it from the seller's perspective, seller's agent perspective.
What you do specifically, your perspective.
I have the way how I might explain it might sound pretty simple, but it's not simple. It's
break
not
it down.
easy.
Break it down to
no,
the
it's not. It's not easy.
You break it down. I'm gonna look at the phones. But go ahead, break it down.
All right, so we're gonna break it down like this. So you have. So let's say you have a buyer's agent that showed the property, right? And the buyers like the property and they want to submit an offer. Meaning they want to buy the house, right? At that point in time, if the buyer is represented by an agent, their agent will call me, the listing agent, and say, hey, listen, our client is interested. If a house is worth $1 million and they want to submit an offer for $1 million, we're submitting an offer of $1 million. And then there's terms and conditions. Okay. No offers are alike. Me and you, we can submit the same number, but our conditions and our terms are going to be different. You might need to sell something to buy this, or you might need to get approved by the bank to buy this house, or you might have all cash. You get what I mean? Whereas I might come in and say, oh, by the way, I'll give you $1 million and I'll give you $50,000 extra than what the people is giving you, but I want to make sure that the house qualifies for it appraises. Appraises meaning a bank comes in and appraises the property and actually says it's worth $1,050,000 because you were on the market for $1 million, and you might say I need it to pass inspections. Yeah. So inspections meaning you're going to check the house if there's any issues with the roof, if there's any issues with the mechanicals, the plumbing, the electricals, to make sure that the house is actually up and standing and up to code.
Has that ever happened to you before?
But this is the norm. Yeah. So I'll give you an example. So we'll break it down from the beginning stages. All right. Buyer wants to buy a house, submits an offer, and with an offer you have, like I said, terms and conditions. So I'll paint you a scenario. Let's say I love the house so much, and there's 4 other people that want to buy this house, and that's my competition. So since I love the house so much and I know what the market is doing today, I'm gonna waive everything. I'm not gonna put inspections. I'm not gonna put mortgage contingency. I'm not gonna put appraisal contingency. I just want the house to be clean and clear title.
Is that good? That's bad? Or that's just you?
That's bad for the buyers. Okay. Because you're waiving a lot of your protections. But this is the market we're in, D. Yeah. See what I'm trying to tell you? Because now think about it. Now, if there's 5 other people that want to buy the same house, they all got money. So how do I make my offer stand out? Yeah. I'm going to make the seller's life easier. I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to waive everything. I'm not going to do inspections or none of that. And the seller's going to be like, okay, good. This buyer, I like this offer, and they're not, they don't have any contingency, right? Contingency is like a subject to. Yeah. Like I would buy this house only contingent upon XYZ. Yeah. So that's not necessarily, you know what I mean? If it was a buyer's market, then yes, sellers would be open-minded to negotiating. They would go, okay, well, we'll do inspections, and if there's an issue within the inspections, then you get to bring negotiation points. So for example, let's say you accepted my offer, but I put inspection contingency. And then I do inspections. I hire an inspector, a licensed inspector, to inspect the house, and the inspector tells me that the roof needs fixing, right? We need a new boiler system. The windows need to be replaced. So that's about 30, 40 G's worth of work. And then if I have inspection contingency, I can go back after the inspection. I can say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I still want to buy your house, but the inspector just told me that there's all these issues. Are you willing to give me at least are you willing to do the work yourself, or you want to give me a credit? Yeah. Or you give me some sort of a concession? So you get more negotiation points, as opposed to if you were to submit an offer with no inspection contingency or nothing of that nature. What happens is seller says, "Wait, listen, even if it's $100,000 worth of work, there's no inspections. If you play games, I'm gonna go to the next offer." Okay. You get what I mean? Yeah, This is the market we're in right now. We're in the market where the sellers have a lot of power.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you that. Has anyone ever? How do I say this? Like played dirty and sold a house knowing that it wasn't. I don't think you can make up your own number, but like it comes with a bunch of issues. Like the house comes with a bunch of issues, and they sold it anyway. Yes. And they hid things under the rug. Yes. That's a thing.
That's unfortunately yes, because there's ethical people and there's unethical people. Yeah. There's good and there's bad.
There's good and
bad. There's good agents, there's bad agents. There's good business and shady business. Yeah. For the sake of not getting myself into litigation, I'm gonna say, you know what I mean.
But there's good and bad. Yeah. I know you can't really go into.
Yeah. But we can go into it because I've lost 5 deals because of shady people.
Really?
Yeah, I lost 5 deals. That's.
Can you talk about one? You don't gotta use specific names. Just give an example of what happened.
So I had this one client that just sold her a business 2 years ago. She sold a nail gel. She had a nail gel factory.
Okay.
She sold it for like $3 million and some change. And she wanted to dump all that money in real estate. She was from Queens. She was not familiar with the Bronx market. So I met with this client at an open house, and she liked the way my demeanor, how I carried myself, and how I presented the property. She had, by the way, she already had an agent then.
Yeah.
She came to my open house with her agent.
And she said, switch your room.
No, but they already hadn't signed an agreement. So I'm very ethical in the sense like that. I wouldn't like it if my client did that to me.
Yeah.
Especially not in front of me. You know what I mean? So her and her husband was asking me for my business card. They were talking shit about the other agent. I said, no, like at that time, I was like, nah, I can't do that because I was new in the business.
Yeah.
Like first year, I'm like, you know what I mean?
I don't want nothing bad.
Yeah.
I don't want to rub people the wrong way.
Yep. And then I says, ethically, I can't do that because your agent is right there. So if they wanted to submit an offer, and I says, please just submit it from, because I could have double-ended the deal.
Yeah.
Double-ending means you get the buyers. Remember, I told you, you charge 6%, you pay out 2 or 3%. Remember? Mm-hmm. At that time, I signed my client at 6, whose house I was selling in Mount Vernon, and then I was paying out 2.5% to the buyer broker. So basically, if I was a double-ended deal, I keep that 2.5 too.
Yeah.
And the house was worth 600, so that's around 15 G's right there. Mm-hmm. But I says, you know what? I don't want no back home. So I told her, listen, I can't ethically give you my card right now because you already have an agent and you have an agreement.
But there's people who have done that.
Hell fucking yeah.
They be like, yo, come over with me.
Yeah.
Forget that person.
Yeah. They do it all the time, especially in the Bronx.
Yeah.
I do a lot of business in the Bronx. I cover the entirety of New York City, and I'm part of a company called Keller Williams.
Yeah, talk about that.
Yeah, I'm part of a company called Keller Williams, and we are the largest real estate brokerage in the whole world, and we're international. Mm-hmm. Like I've had clients whose properties I've sold in New York, and they went and bought an investment property in DR Punta Cana. I have clients looking for properties in Colombia. I have clients looking for properties in Jamaica, and I've connected them with people. Because my company is worldwide. Like we have a Keller Williams office in almost every pocket of the world. Forget about the U.S.
Have you ever traveled to any of them?
Yes, I was in Punta Cana just 3 weeks ago, DR, and there's a KW Dominicana over there, where they got development projects. So it was a vacation, but also
work.
A little bit of work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was what it was. And DR right now is Punta Cana is a hot tourist spot.
Yeah.
I
want to go to DR so bad.
You have to.
I have to?
Yeah. I'll give you the link over our stage.
I want to go to DR so bad. That's like my dream vacation spot. Yeah. What's yours? Like if you could go anywhere that you've never been.
That's a great question. I never even thought about it.
Really?
Yeah. But I would say.
You go on vacation often?
I don't. This year is finally like where I had off time.
Yeah.
Because now I'm getting business without actually physically being in the business.
Yeah,
you know what I'm trying to say? Before I had to be in the business. Like I had to be in the office every day, make my calls, do my follow-ups, negotiate deals, work with attorneys, you know what I mean? Go to networking events.
You had to be there.
Yeah, I had to physically be there.
Yeah.
And I only had time for gym. Literally, remember right?
Yeah.
And this is a Sunday. Today's a Sunday.
That, I like
this
that,
is a Sunday as me and him are doing this. Right after this, I got an open house from 2 to 4 p.m. We need to do, right?
What does a morning for JP look like? How do you start your mornings?
So mornings it's I would say the most crucial part of my day. Like morning is where I do a lot of I believe that I'm a huge believer of affirmations, manifestation. So I wake up. I saw this funny show. It's like don't ever describe your day as I woke up. You know what I mean? Because that's how people's time has been beginning since the time or whatever the case may be. But it's getting ready, right? Doing my skincare routine and my manifestation. Then I'm getting ready to go to the office. I don't even eat breakfast. I haven't eaten a breakfast in the morning time in, I would say, a few years.
Is it because of weight or like health?
It's just because I'm active when I'm on that fasted state.
Yeah.
And remember, mornings is my most important time of the day. Is where I set the foundation for the remainder of the day and the week and the months to come. Right.
What is your morning? You said cleansing and all that. Like
cleansing, manifestation. Like
what does that look like? What do you do?
So, out the bed, like 7:30, 8 a.m. Getting ready takes me 30 minutes. I don't even drink a coffee in the crib because I know when you drink coffee, you kind of block your. I don't know. I read something, but I don't drink coffee until I'm in the office. Okay. So about 8:30, I'm out of the house. right? I'm driving to the office. While I'm on the drive, I'm doing.
No, I was saying before that, like you're in your house and
Yeah.
you say you do your facial routines.
Yeah,
and all
yeah,
that.
yeah.
What do you do? I'm asking, what do you do?
Like cleanser, like face wash, curology.
Okay.
You know what I mean, for acne and shit like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And then you do daily affirmations.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What's your affirmation?
I say 3 things I'm grateful for and 3 things I'm gonna accomplish today.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did you say today?
Today I says I'm grateful for the fact that I get to wake up.
Yes.
I'm grateful for the fact that I have a beautiful girlfriend that cares about me, that loves me, and I have a loving and a caring family.
Okay.
And then I says I appreciate the fact that I get to drive my nice car. I get to appreciate the fact that I get to pull up in a suit and meet my guy D-Hogs and do this interview.
Really, really nice car, by the way.
Yeah.
Really nice car. I said, okay, I see you, JP.
Yeah, we're working.
Yeah.
We're working, and that was my affirmation. And then my affirmation goes. I usually have 2 kind of affirmations. One for the whole year, and then one for like coming weeks or months.
Yeah.
Like if I have 3 deals that is in contract and it's looking a little rocky, I'll say, like, you know what I mean? Like I start by saying like in the next 30 days I want to close this deal, and because I need to help this client because they're in this situation.
And it's actually happened?
Oh yeah. This is I do it every day.
Yeah.
And I'm at a point where I can say 3 different things every single day because it's not easy in the beginning to say things you're grateful for and just speaking it into existence.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
So you spoke about, and I'm very big on dating.
Yeah.
And you spoke about that you have a beautiful girlfriend. You
Yes.
don't got to say anything specific, or you can answer whatever you want. But
I know that.
with not her, well, her specifically, and the lifestyle you live and what you do for work. Is it easy to date someone who does what you do? Is it hard? Like what to expect?
I think.
Or how has she showed support with what you do?
Good. I think it comes down to finding your significant other.
Yes.
Like for me and her, I've been with my girlfriend since I was doing something else.
Yeah.
And she's shown me that she's the right one for me.
Okay.
Because she stayed down.
Yes.
Like when I was getting in trouble in the streets, she was the rock.
Yes.
Like I could be feeling like the shit. I could feel like the world is ending, and if I spoke with her and I spent time with her, like everything.
You're centered now.
Yeah. So she's seen the change, and she's leveled up as well throughout me leveling up. And then I feel like you gotta have that synergy, like you gotta have that commonality. If you're like leveling up and your significant other is really not with it, then I think the balance would be off.
Leveling up how? Like financially too?
Like financially, physically, emotionally, mentally, like everything. Leveling up doesn't necessarily mean like one thing for me. For me, it was like I had to level up my mindset for everything else to come through. Like this mindset I have now, I have a mindset of abundance. I truly believe I live a life of abundance only because that I have everything I need.
Yeah.
I woke up with blankets on me. I woke up with the roof over my head. I open my fridge. I got anything. I can eat whatever the hell I want. If I don't have it in my fridge, I would do Uber Eats, or I can go to gym.
Yeah.
So like in that sense, I have a life of abundance, and and then one of my goals is to helping others achieve life of abundance. Yeah. That's really one of my affirmations as well.
Yeah, that's something that I'm looking into a lot too, and I think about a lot because I saw something the other day. I was on TikTok, and it said something about, I think, a disease or something about somebody's arm or something coming off, something like that. And I was just like, yo, out of all the people in the world, that could be me. That could have been me. I think it was something when you're born that there's just something about a disease or something. So I'm just looking like, yo, I woke up, I've been alive for 29 years. I have both legs, both arms, no defects. And there's a lot of things that you could, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of things that you could be born with that can mess you up for life.
Forget about that. You made it to this world fighting against trillions.
Yeah.
Remember, right?
That was the first step.
Just the fact that you fucking existed in your mom's womb, that's a freaking miracle.
We beat the fact that we lasted 9 months in the mother's womb and all those things. Yeah, it's crazy that you can look like it's crazy out there, bro. Like there's people born with deficiencies and all that. Not to say that's bad. I mean, it happens.
That's a fact, though.
Yeah, it happens. And we could have been one of them, and we're not. So you gotta be truly grateful for everything. So what are your goals for this year as a human being? As a human being first.
This year I have a lot of interesting goals.
We'll talk about work and then human being first.
As a human being, I wanna keep up this routine that I have, my morning routine, and going to the gym. For the past, I would say, a month or two, I've been going to the gym consistently, like twice a day.
Twice a day.
Yeah, maybe because summer's around the corner. You know, got to look right. You know, got to get this part all trimmed down and the biceps
Once
coming
the suit
in.
comes off, you got the swimming trunks and Punta Cana again. Why not?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I want to keep that up. That's one of my biggest things. Because for me, gym is not like it became in the beginning. It was obviously for physical. It was a little good, but then it became. It came to a point now. It's like it's a necessity. It's for my mental clarity.
You don't feel good when you don't do it.
I don't feel like this. I kind of regret that I didn't hit the gym before this. I was supposed to,
really?
But I had to handle some paperwork and.
Yeah.
But you know, good energy doesn't lie. So he got, you know, D-Hawk's always had good energy. So it's only right that I reciprocate that. You know what I mean?
I love that.
But that's one of the biggest things that I want to just keep up, man.
I wanted to go too, but I was like, let me get a haircut, let me write down, let me mentally prepare these questions and prepare for the interview.
Appreciate
but I'm gonna go after once we finish this.
We're gonna see each other after I'm done with my open house. I don't know if you're gonna be there, but
we're gonna bump into each other at the gym. But okay,
like always. And then he's gonna be stirring shit up.
For work-wise, what are some goals for you?
My goal for work-wise, for my business, I look at. So what I do is I'm an independent contractor. I'm a business. A lot of people don't look at real estate sales as a business.
Yeah.
And that's why they don't get the results as an entrepreneur. So
you actually have to work harder
on yourself
than people who have jobs, like people who clock into right there. You could literally. That's why I always say it's easier to work a job than it is to be a business for yourself. Like even me doing what I do, I think this is a business, but I love doing this.
It is a business.
I have to work harder than most people that I know because if I want this to grow, like if you work for Walmart, Walmart's already successful. And you're an employee for Walmart or wherever. So you just show up and then you go home. Me, we gotta work 10
we don't know when the food is coming.
Yeah, we don't know when that's coming. The next meal's gonna come. So we gotta create the next meal. So
and that is, and I'll tell you why. And everything you said is spot on. And I would like to add the fact that there's no consistency.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're consistent on a daily basis in doing what you do, but there's no consistency in a sense of like you're not doing same shit every day.
No.
Right? If you're going to doing a 9 to 5, which my mom and dad didn't do 9 to 5, you know what I mean? I got nothing bad to say for that, but it's just the reality is.
You said they did do 9 to 5?
My mom does 9 to 5, and my pops was a doctor, so we'll get into that later.
Okay.
But for the sake of this conversation, I would say it's because you have to be comfortable with the uncomfortable. Like to your point, like you got people around you talking smack.
Yeah.
Oh man, what the hell are you doing? It's not even a real job.
Yeah.
That's what my parents said 3.5 years ago when I was getting into this.
That's what they say to me too. Yeah.
And then when the money started coming in, and when you start buying the groceries and you start paying the bills, you start taking them out to eat good restaurants every single week. Then they because oh my son is doing it. So for me, like to be honest with you, they were one of my biggest drivers.
Yeah.
Because they said I couldn't do it. So I said, oh word. Say less.
How did you balance still loving them while also?
Well, because I know they always looked out for me, and I know I put them through hell.
Through
my past, my past predicaments.
Yes.
Right. So
there was never a part of your life where you hated them.
Never.
Because they doubted you, or they was talking.
No, I knew it was doubt it came from a healthy place.
Yes.
I knew it wasn't a doubt in a demeaning way.
Because a lot of people would take it that way.
Yeah.
Like, oh, forget my parents.
I did take it that way for a brief second until I realized who I am. You know what I mean? And what I did and what I put them through, and then
you self-reflected.
Yeah, I self-reflected. That's the right word I was looking for. Yeah.
Is there anything? I guess this will be the end of the video. Is there anything like you want to discuss?
We gotta do part 2.
Yeah, we should do part 2.
We gotta do part 2, and then we'll get into the nitty-gritty of how to acquire business.
How do people contact you? How do people get into your world? Like how do they explain?
You can hit me on my DM, Salwith_JP, I believe. Let me just double check this.
I'm gonna put it here too.
Oh, you're gonna put it. So it's all good. And then my phone number is 929-291-9133. I'm here. And then by the way, we'll talk about my music later.
Yeah.
I plan on doing music this year too. One of my personal goals.
Tell them where they can find you.
J_Skrilla. You're gonna be like, who the hell is that person? So J_Skrilla, LLAA. I haven't dropped any music in the I would say past 4 years. You see the timeline change? The past 4 years ago I got into real estate, and then.
But before we even talk about that, because I want to ask you this, because you did a shift, right? So you went from doing music and then you started doing what you do now. Why? How did you feel about the music part? Like, damn, I haven't done music. Am I going to give up? Like, what did you ever feel like?
For me, I never felt like I gave up on music because I never did.
Okay.
And while I was making music, for me, the only reason why I shifted was because music wasn't necessarily lucrative for me.
Okay.
It was just putting in a lot of money. I paid for all the studios. I paid for all of my videos. And when I do video, I spend a lot of money on getting bottles, Airbnbs, this and that. I have like maybe 4 or 5 music videos out there.
Yeah.
And everything paid for me. Like I was paying for my own marketing. I was hiring this digital guru, you know, for the advertisement and all that. Yeah. And to a point, and then your lifestyle kind of catches up.
Yeah.
And you're not really seeing money come in as fast as it's going, and it's time you figure it out. So this is why I never felt as I gave up on music, but a lot of people were telling me, because there were some times I did performance, like I would do performance in a club, stuff like that, but the money wasn't there. Yeah. But now if I was to do it, once I get back in music, it's because it's just something that is one of my passions. Yeah. Not because I need it to protect and provide for feed for my family. You know what I'm trying to say?
So but if it comes with it, you'll take it too.
100%. Yeah. But I have more music that's in my Rolodex that's out there.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's time to put it out there.
Yeah. I have over 30 tracks that I haven't released, and I recorded it.
I can't do that, man. Like, again, not to say anything bad about you, but like I'm so consistent. I'm so put it out there, that I got about 15 videos that I've done in the last 2 weeks in my phone ready to be out. I got to edit.
You on the road.
I don't play when it comes to that, because I know the consistency is going to keep it going. But
100%. I remember you said that when we first met. Yeah. That's what. Because remember I told you briefly, I was like, I did music. You like, I did content. I was like, oh shoot. Yeah. And when you told me that hit me, because I'm like, that's right. Because I know the recipe, consistency over everything. You could have the shittest quality. You could be the worst musician.
But as long as you out there.
As long as you out there, you gaining some, like, what's that? No motion is better than, slow motion is better than no motion, right? So.
And the crazy part is, you still grow, because eventually you're going to get a better camera, you're going to get a better mic, you're going to get better at everything. Just put it out now. Yep. And people are going to love the authenticity, because you're going to grow anyway. So when you grow, you got a shitty mic, but that was a year ago, 2 years ago. Now look at you. You got your own studio. Look, I'm doing podcasts with 2 camera phones.
2 camera phones with the 2 tripods. With the 2
tripods.
With the rollie and the ribs.
Come on, man. And then look, what happens next year?
And we're in the multi-million-dollar building, by the way.
Exactly.
We're on the 4th floor. We're in the penthouse suite.
I started doing videos in my room. 2-3 years ago. Yeah. Now I'm in a multi-million-dollar building. Yeah. Come on, man.
Talking real estate.
Yeah. From videos in my room, just joking around. Now I'm talking to business people, real people.
And this ain't even the beginning.
This ain't.
You just grown.
I ain't even scratched the surface.
I'm excited for you, by the way. If nobody has told you that, I'm excited for you. I'm proud of you. You keep doing what you do, and you spreading good energy. And I'm
yesterday we was in the sauna, and you was like, "Yo, this guy's viral." I was like, "Come on,
man."
I don't know.
I'm a salesman. I have to tell you.
I know.
After you left, people really, what's his IG? You didn't even know.
Yeah, I gotta. That's what I'm saying. I gotta start getting used to that, like putting myself out there like that, because it's true. I do good work.
It was viral.
Yeah, it was viral, but so I just. Is there anything else you want to promote? Anything else you want to talk about?
No, we here. We here with good energy, and I believe that good energy is it's the greatest divider, and it's infectious, and it's contagious. Yeah. Because you got good energy, next thing you know, someone's having a bad day, and you said a little something, you complimented them or something like that. You made their day. You know what I mean?
Yeah. One thing I would say that, and just to close it out, is that me doing what I do, a lot of people recently have been telling me, even from 4 or 5 years ago, yo, when you posted this one story 5 years ago, it motivated me. When you got your laptop during COVID, it motivated me to start doing my stuff. Yeah. Last week you did this, and it made me go to the store and start drinking. I saw you drinking healthy juices. Yep. It made me want to work on my diet. It's like, damn, people really get affected by you. That's and powerful. It could be you. One thing I always heard is that someone's always watching. Someone's always watching. Whether it's us at the gym, even you could be at the gym. You're like, one more set. Yeah, someone else is watching.
Yep.
One more set. It's crazy. It's crazy how that works.
It's 100%. It's powerful.
Yes.
And go ahead. That's it. There's gonna be part 2. That's a fact.
Part 2.
And then we gonna shoot a music video. He gonna be part of that.
I'm blessed.
I'm not even lying.
Let's do it.
Shoot a video sometime in June. My birthday's in June. You can do the behind the scene. And then we'll do another podcast with my music, with my rapper outfit.
You're gonna see him in a
This
Scully.
Is the professional. You're gonna see me with a gold chain.
Scully, maybe a little tattoo right here.
Scully's crazy. Nah, I'm authentic, even in my rap shit.
Really?
Like, when I did, the reason why I stopped rap for a while, because I became a different person. I felt that. It's like duality of a man. I'm a Gemini. So I felt like, you know what I mean? Like.
So that rapper wasn't you?
No, that rapper was me, because that's the life I was living. Like the shit I talked about my rap, I was doing it. Like I was in the street. Remember I told you I left the crib at 16 and selling, XYZ. And that was what my music was about. And I always knew how to freestyle. So we got to get a freestyle session.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm with all the content, bro.
Yeah.
Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Thank you all for watching. Follow me at dhawks_ for skits, public interviews, just good content. Follow my podcast page, Talks with D-Hawks, on all platforms, dhawks_ on all platforms. And make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Thank you all for watching. See you on next episode.
Tune in. Let's get it. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. How you felt?
I felt great, bro.
An hour.
Oh, shit. We did it.
Yeah.
And we haven't even covered much, I think.
Nah.
Damn, that shit crazy.
Look, a little behind the scenes. What you about to do? You about to get some coffee?
We about to make some water. We about to get some water. I said make some water.
Make some water.
Hey, listen.
That's how he's feeling. He's feeling godly.
I'm feeling godly.
He can make
water.
Make
some H2O.
Right from the air. Yeah, I need some water too. I'll take some. But look, this is the office we in, God. We literally just finished the podcast. Look. Let's
show them the balcony.
The podcast. It didn't even finish yet. We still rolling.
Yeah, we're still rolling.
Camera's still rolling.
That's what's unique about it. Right here in the summertime, we're gonna do the cookout right here. We got the grill.
The next podcast episode gonna be up here.
Grill. Put some fire on. Smoke a nice Cubano.
Nice cigar.
I'm at a cigar, by the way.
Yeah.
We're going to keep it PG-13 for the kids out there, you know
course.
what I mean? Because remember, someone's always watching.
Someone's always watching.
You know what I mean?
And this is all going on the podcast, too. Beautiful day, beautiful Sunday. We here, we working. Let's get it. For real, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. See our next episode. Let's get it.
Let's get it, baby.
Baby stuck in my IG, claiming that our love is real. Two phones, but I need like 3. Cannot reach me, I'm not there. Plane take off and leave at 3. Walking through the pool like, yeah. Two phones, but I need like 3.